You know that sound? The one every homeowner absolutely dreads? That sudden gush of water, coming from somewhere it should not be. Could be a burst pipe, a sump pump that just gave up, maybe a storm surge. One minute your home is your safe space, and the next, it's a disaster zone, filling up with water. So let's dive right in and talk about what happens next, and how science, not just a bunch of mops and buckets, is the real key to saving a flooded home.
Right, so think of water as the ultimate uninvited guest. It doesn't bother knocking, it'll find its way in through a failing pump, an overflowing washing machine, or, a pipe that bursts in the middle of a freezing winter night. And once it's inside, it's got one mission: spread out and cause as much chaos as it possibly can.
And this is probably the most critical question of all. You might think you have some time to figure things out, but honestly, that clock starts ticking the very second water hits the floor. Those first 48 hours are a frantic race against permanent damage and some really serious health risks. The speed of the destruction is it's shocking. Within minutes, anything porous is completely soaked through. Give it just a few hours, and the actual materials of your home, we're talking drywall, wood floors, furniture, they start to swell up, warp, and literally fall apart. But here's the real kicker. By the 24 to 48-hour mark, you're not just fighting water damage anymore. Now you're fighting a potential mold infestation.
And believe it or not, that clock actually ticks even faster in certain places. You see, the specific location of a home can create what is basically a perfect storm for water damage, turning a really bad situation into a full-blown catastrophe almost instantly. Let's use a place like St. Clair Shores, Michigan, as a perfect example. Being right next to a huge lake means constant high humidity, which, as you can guess, mold absolutely loves. All that lake-effect snow creates ice dams on roofs, which is another entry point for water. Even the ground itself. It's this heavy clay soil that literally traps water and shoves it up against the foundations. You add that to the aging plumbing you find in homes from the 50s and 60s, and yeah, you've got a recipe for disaster.
So you see, water is just relentless. It will exploit every single old pipe, every little crack in the foundation, every drain that can't keep up. It's not just sitting there. It's an active threat, constantly looking for a way in.
Okay, so we've established the problem, right? It's a problem that gets exponentially worse with every hour that passes. So how do you fight back? Well, this is where the professionals come in, and their whole response is built around one single thing: speed.
Remember that 48-hour window we talked about, before the mold really kicks in? Well, the whole point of a professional response is to get in there way before that even becomes a possibility. Every single minute you save could mean thousands of dollars and a whole lot of headaches avoided.
60 minutes. That's the industry standard for an emergency response. From the moment you make that panicked phone call, a team is expected to be right there, on site, ready to start pulling water out. Just 60 minutes. That's how you get ahead of the damage curve.
Now, when the pros show up, they are not just bringing bigger mops. No way. They're armed with a scientific process, highly specialized equipment, and an official rulebook that tells them exactly how to attack the damage to make sure the job is done right the first time.
The whole process is really broken down into 3 clear phases. First things first, get the bulk of the water out, and do it fast. Step 2, use science to dry out everything you can't see, all that moisture trapped deep inside walls and under the flooring. And finally, step 3 is to rebuild and restore the property so it's like the flood never even happened.
And this whole process is governed by something called the IICRC S500 standard. The easiest way to think about it is like the official rule book for water damage restoration. It's what separates the real pros from the amateurs, and it's exactly what insurance companies require to make sure the job is actually done correctly.
And part of that rule book starts with identifying the enemy. Because, and this is important, not all water is created equal. Category 1 water is clean, maybe from a supply line. But Category 2, say from a dishwasher, that could have contaminants. And Category 3? Oh man, that's the really nasty stuff. We're talking grossly contaminated water from sewage or outdoor flooding, and that poses a serious, immediate health risk. It's also really important to understand this distinction right here. Remediation is the emergency part. It's about extracting the water and drying the structure to, stop the bleeding. Restoration, on the other hand, is the next step. Rebuilding the damaged areas, putting up new drywall, installing new floors, basically making the home whole again.
And to do all this, you need some serious gear.
I mean, we're talking about truck-mounted extractors that can pull out thousands of gallons of water an hour, huge commercial-grade dehumidifiers and air movers that create a powerful vortex of dry air, and then there's the really cool stuff, thermal imaging cameras and moisture meters that can literally see water hidden inside walls, making absolutely sure not a single drop gets left behind.
When it's all said and done, this entire scientific process, all the technology, all the standards, it all serves a single, very human purpose: to give people their homes and really their lives back to normal.
This right here, this is the promise of professional restoration. It's not about just patching things up. It's about meticulously erasing the event, returning the property to the exact condition it was in just moments before the disaster struck. And why does that matter so much? Well, because a proper restoration does way more than just fix a soggy wall. It protects the structural integrity of what's probably your biggest investment. And, even more importantly, by eliminating that risk of hidden mold, it protects the health of the people you love living inside it.
So, I'll just leave you with this one thought. After all the visible water is gone, the real danger is the moisture you can't see and the mold you can't smell, at least not yet. And tackling that hidden threat, well, that's exactly why the science of drying is every bit as important as the speed of the rescue.